Upon gaining admission to University A alongside my little follower, she underwent a transformation. When I requested her to tidy up the bed, she vehemently refused. Qin Shui, do not overstep your bounds. We are now university classmates, and our statuses are equal. On what grounds do you treat me as a servant? Just as I was about to inquire about her sudden outburst, a flurry of comments materialized before my eyes. Baby has endured being a little follower for 2 months and is finally ready to rebel against the cruel heiress, initiating her counterattack. Exactly. Having gained admission through her own merit, why should our baby continue to toil like a beast of burden? I advise the supporting character to willingly relinquish her family fortune and cease her pursuits of the male lead. Otherwise, when the Qin family faces bankruptcy, it will be too late for her to seek forgiveness. Seeing the comments before me, I reconsidered my stance. In that case, I shall no longer need to pay you a salary each month. I turned to the crowd gathered at the doorway, eager to witness the spectacle. I am looking for follower to handle deliveries, fetch takeout, and perform miscellaneous errands, offering a monthly stipend of 100,000. Is anyone interested? No sooner had I spoken than a throng surged forward, effectively ousting the so-called female lead from the dormitory. I. At your beck and call, resilient and industrious, I am at your service. Why don't you step aside with your diminutive stature? Young lady, I am a student from the Department of Physical Education, having trained in martial arts for several years. I can lift, carry, and make beds, and in critical moments, I can also serve as a bodyguard. How infuriating. I only require 50,000 yuan. As long as it is lawful, I am willing to do anything. You point east. And I shall not go west. Look at me, I only ask for 30,000 yuan, a high-cost performance ratio. I will take 20,000. I will accept 10,000. I will settle for 5,000. No malicious price-cutting allowed. Seeing myself instantly surrounded, Liu squeezed her way in, interrupting the bidding with ire. How can you lack even a shred of dignity? Do not forget that you are students of a university, a dream school for countless individuals. Look at yourselves. What distinguishes you from bargaining housewives at a market? You are utterly bringing shame to a university. If you possess even a modicum of self-respect, stand tall and refuse to play the lapdog of the wealthy. For a moment, silence enveloped the crowd, save for the rapidly scrolling comments. How right she is. They're indeed students of a university, yet do they not feel any shame? Our heroine exhibits true grit, refusing to accept charity. She embodies the essence of a true leading lady. The supporting character, boasting her wealth, looks down upon our heroine, barking orders. Once our heroine turns the tables, she will surely make her taste the humiliation that comes with wealth. Students, after all, are thin-skinned, and some began to waver. I scoffed lightly. Do not think that just because you are a newcomer to a university, even a PhD graduate from a university would be the same. Do you believe I could spread the word about recruiting attendance and have applicants line up to France? I fixed my gaze on Liu. When you were 12, Aunt Zhang fell gravely ill and desperately begged my mother to take you in. Out of pity, my mother allowed you to be my attendant. Over the years, every penny spent on your tuition and living expenses has come from our family. We hired the best tutors for you, enrolled you in the finest international high school in the city, and in total, we have spent no less than $1 million on you. Now you say you will not serve? Have I coerced you for even a second? Moreover, all the students here earn their money through their own abilities. None of this is illegal or shameful. Whispers filled the room. My heavens, the tuition at that international high school costs hundreds of thousands a year. How I wish I had known her sooner. Indeed, perhaps after graduation, I could directly enter the Qin family. No fear of unemployment post-graduation. Their hesitations vanished, replaced by a fervent desire for wealth. Noticing that I seemed to sway the crowd, Liu hastily retorted, I am not receiving this money for free. Since childhood, you have treated me like a servant. Just because my mother worked as a maid in your household, you have bullied, suppressed, and insulted me. Now that we are at the same university, you still cannot let me go, wanting me to serve you as before. I interrupted her with a cold laugh. Extend your hand. Liu, perplexed, instinctively obeyed my command. Look at your own hands. Are they hands that have toiled? Since entering our household, you have not even washed your own clothes. When little fish first came to us, she was malnourished, although she was 12. She appeared as frail as an 8 or 9-year-old. My mother, unable to bear the thought of her working, only allowed her to eat more to regain her strength, forbidding her from any chores. Little Fish is also someone who understands gratitude, striving to progress, prioritizing my needs above all. Her attention toward me even surpassed that of my mother. We were inseparable, with Little Fish always by my side. Reflecting on this, I gazed at Liu with increasing disdain. How have I bullied you? Do enlighten me. Liu, flustered, stammered, You made me carry your backpack. Forced me to eat what you disliked, and made me hold an umbrella, fetch water, run errands, accompany you while you read, ate, and chatted. So, was carrying a globally limited edition backpack worth 300,000 yuan a grievance? Or was indulging in the finest French black truffles an insult? Our family provides you with 100,000 yuan in pocket money every month. Is running errands not a duty you should fulfill? Do you expect to receive our family's money and contribute nothing in return? That would be utterly shameless. The students widened their eyes, casting glances of both envy and disdain toward Liu. Yet, she remained resolute in believing she was in the right. So what? My dignity, my self-respect, are not things you can purchase with money. This 100,000 yuan is clearly my compensation for emotional distress. It is what I deserve. Comments flooded in support of Liu, echoing, how right she is. What does it matter if money's exchanged? Our heroine will not bow to the whims of mere coin. Before I could speak, a classmate could no longer contain themselves. If you don't value it, then leave. Don't obstruct our path to wealth. Boo-hoo, I also want to eat the finest black truffles. Junior, you can give me what you don't want to eat in the future. I want to charge you. Me too. I am skilled in carrying bags, holding umbrellas, and making beds. Line up, I was first. Seeing that no one paid her any further attention, Liu displayed a countenance of utter grievance, stomped her foot, and dashed out. I then chose to approach Wenwan, who shares my dormitory. Despite her delicate name, she is a first-class athlete with a defined physique. I promised on the spot that I would prioritize those present today for future opportunities. Although some students left disappointed, they did so with satisfaction. As for Liu, I let out a sigh of relief. My 2-month wait for her had not been in vain, as her true colors finally emerged. We had long sensed something amiss with Liu. Not only I, who was closest to her, but even our housekeeper noticed the discrepancy. As the housekeeper aptly put it, Liu had become more of a young lady than I, the actual young lady. My mother and I initially suspected that Liu might have a twin sister, or that someone who resembled her was impersonating her. However, after extensive verification, even arranging for hypnosis, we learned from this impostor that she had somehow traversed into Liu's body, though she was unclear about the specifics. In her eyes, everything belonging to me, the daughter of the Qin family, should rightfully belong to her. For this, I could only think of a term from novels, usurpation. But where has my little fish gone? I am determined to uncover her whereabouts. As long as there is a glimmer of hope, I shall not relent. However, until I clarify everything, I shall not act rashly. After entrusting matters to my new assistant, I descended the stairs, where my fiancé, Hua Yunqi, awaited me. Hua Yunqi is the only son of the Hua family. Having grown up alongside me, our families had long arranged our marriage, which will be held upon our graduation. Although this fellow possesses a handsome visage, I am aware that he is merely a fragile shell. Brother Yunqi. Before I could turn, a figure dashed toward Hua Yunqi. With a smile in his eyes, he greeted her warmly and familiarly. I suddenly realized that this impostor, who had been treading carefully for 2 months to avoid detection, had now brazenly confronted me publicly, believing she had successfully entangled herself with Hua Yunqi. The comments erupted with fervor. I ship this. They are a perfect match. The male lead is handsome and wealthy, with a splendid family background, unlike the supporting character who looks down on others. They truly are a match made in heaven. Indeed, the supporting character relies on her family's wealth, stubbornly clinging to our male lead. Fortunately, our male lead's love for the female lead is genuine. No amount of money can break them apart. How true it is, the male and female leads are the true golden couple. Supporting character. If you have any sense of shame, hurry and leave. Do not disturb the leads. The male lead? I raised an eyebrow. Him? I truly laughed. I grew up alongside Hua Yunqi. With a mere blink from him, I could discern his intentions. This fellow is an unabashed libertine, a true believer in reveling in the pleasures of life. Countless young hearts have fallen prey to his whims. When the delightful Xiaoyer first arrived at my home, he found her immensely intriguing, making several attempts to charm her. Yet, Xiaoyer, being a genuinely good girl, maintained a respectful distance from him. After a few fruitless attempts, he lost interest and withdrew. Later, he even complained to me, "Is she truly normal? Could she possibly have a crush on you?" In response, I delivered a swift punch to his head. Now, it seems he has noticed something amiss with Li Yu and has once again entertained thoughts of teasing her. However, I ponder, why should I take a detour? With purposeful strides, I approached the two and lifted my chin towards Hui Yunqi. He understood my intent immediately and graciously opened the passenger door for me. Hui Yunqi has always relished putting on a facade of a close relationship between us in front of others, and he never tires of it. I have never understood why he does this, but I am too apathetic to inquire. He is simply eccentric, as long as he doesn't hinder my pursuits for profit. Yet, it is truly astonishing how times have changed. Now, there are those who fancy such eccentrics as leading men. Beside us, Li witnessed the scene and approached the car, glaring at me indignantly before gently addressing Hui Yunqi. "Brother Yunqi, I just clarified things with Qin Shui. I will no longer assist her." As she spoke, her eyes suddenly glistened with unshed tears, though she valiantly fought to keep them at bay. Hui Yunqi seemed to be quite taken by her distress, inquiring tenderly, "What is wrong? Are you unhappy? We've grown up together. You must tell me if something is bothering you." With a soft smile, Liu replied, "You need not worry about me, Brother Yunqi. Though the future may be arduous, at least I will not endure arbitrary scolding. I can live with dignity. I am unafraid of hardship. I have grown up and can rely on myself." What a resilient little flower she is. It's no wonder Hui Yunqi is drawn to this murky situation. This is precisely his preferred type. I watched her, feigning a look of heartfelt emotion, and thought, "Good luck to you." Impatiently, I pressed the horn. After all, her mimicking Xiaoyer's appearance while displaying such sentiment was quite an eyesore. Hui Yunqi, perceptive as ever, bid farewell to Li Yu and got into the car. Through the rearview mirror, I caught a glimpse of Li Yu's reluctant expression, and a wave of irritation washed over me. "When did you start to dally with her? How could you speak as if I were the one pursuing her? I warned you, she belongs to me. It's fine to toy with emotions, but do not engage in anything vulgar." So, what truly is going on? A split personality? I don't know. Even the psychologist couldn't elucidate the matter. But my Xiaoyer will undoubtedly return, so you must not cause any trouble. All right, all right. The young lady has spoken. I assure you your Xiaoyer will remain intact. I sighed in relief. Having her cling to Hui Yunqi wasn't so bad. At least I had my spies watching over him, ensuring he wouldn't act excessively. However, when Xiaoyer returns, the sight of Hui Yunqi may very well induce a physical revulsion. No matter, I could always take Xiaoyer out to admire handsome men later. Now, let us just sit back and enjoy the unfolding drama. If there is one virtue that this time-traveling girl possesses, it is her remarkable knack for public relations. Within just a few days of the semester's commencement, my reputation as a capricious, tyrannical heiress, known for bullying the weak, had already reached the ears of the counselor. Although a few classmates present that day stood by my side, sometimes explanations merely served to mask the truth and bear little effect. My new assistant, visibly anxious, reported the situation to me. Should we clarify this? Otherwise, the rumors may escalate, and I fear I dismissed it, stating it was a trivial matter, not worth my concern. After all, has anyone dared to express discontent in my presence? My primary concern lay with Li Yu. She seemed particularly busy these days, too occupied to seek my attention. I rather wished she would stir up some trouble, providing me with an opportunity to devise a way to bring Xiaoyer back. Fortunately, the school is not vast, and it wasn't long before we crossed paths again. Li Yu, like me, had come to participate in the interview for the school's public relations department. The girl conducting the interviews, with a high ponytail, greeted Li Yu enthusiastically, winking at her. "I believe you are just the person we are looking for. Welcome to our department." However, when it was my turn to be interviewed, her demeanor shifted to one of sternness. As she bombarded me with a series of challenging questions, "On what grounds do you believe you are qualified to join our public relations department? What can you contribute to us? Why should we hire you?" Maintaining my composure, I replied, "Because I can secure 200,000 in sponsorship for the welcoming gala." The girl with the ponytail scoffed. The freshmen these days are quite amusing. Do you not realize the welcoming gala is tonight? Indeed, which gives us ample time. Just provide me with the bank account details, and the funds will be transferred within 10 minutes. Her scoff turned into a derisive laugh. Anyone can boast. Just as I was about to respond, the student council president, Chin Yi, abruptly entered the room. All right, I'll give you 10 minutes. The girl with the ponytail hesitated, seemingly contemplating something, before finally relaxing, casting me a disdainful glance, convinced I could not possibly secure sponsorship in such a short span. Did Liu not inform her of my identity? I shot a glance at Liu, who was now fidgeting, seemingly lost in thought. Moments later, Chin Yi received notification of the funds being deposited. She hung up the phone and extended her hand towards me. Welcome to the student council. The girl with the ponytail wore an expression of shock and confusion, looking at Liu for clarification. Liu, unable to remain still, earnestly addressed Chin Yi, President. I believe the student council should prioritize individual capabilities over family background when recruiting. If such a trend continues, the student council will become a haven for the wealthy, leaving no room for impoverished students or those from ordinary families. Chin Yi raised an eyebrow and turned to Liu. Are you instructing me on how to conduct my affairs? Liu hastily shook her head. No, what I mean is, President, you have been misled. Some individuals may appear valuable on the outside, but are rotten within. Liu glanced at me, the implication clear. A person's character is more significant than their abilities. Is it not? Chin Yi smirked. Firstly, I see no evidence that your character surpasses hers. Secondly, you may explain to tonight's performers and all the student council members who have worked tirelessly for a month why the 200,000 subsidy, which the Public Relations Department had secured, has been revoked due to your single statement. As long as they all agree, I will not only have no objections, but can also promote you to Vice Minister. How could the dedicated teachers and students possibly agree to that? Even Liu, with her lack of clarity, could understand this. Even if she harbored considerable dissatisfaction, she could only bottle it up within. Liu bit her lip, glaring at me with resentment. I shrugged, deliberately ignoring the barrage of insults directed at me. Chin Yi continued to ignore her, enthusiastically introducing me to the student council members present. Meanwhile, the girl with the ponytail seemed to realize she had been manipulated by Liu, having offended someone she should not have. I observed her angrily conversing with Liu in a corner. Liu appeared to be anxiously attempting to explain and soothe her, but it seemed futile. The girl with the ponytail shrugged off Liu's hand and walked away. After the welcoming gala concluded, the student council hosted a celebration banquet at a high-end KTV. Naturally, Hui Yunqi, as the head of the organization department, was also invited. Liu shyly invited Hui Yunqi to join her in singing a love song. To outsiders, the two appeared to share a romantic connection, a match made in heaven. Liu and Hui Yunqi exchanged passionate glances, occasionally lowering their heads shyly when met with the teasing gazes of onlookers, and at times frowning at their friends who were reveling in the spectacle, ultimately managing to cast a challenging look in my direction amidst the chaos. It truly was a feat. I felt as though her eyes might spasm from the effort. I too find myself in a predicament, with the barrage of comments before me nearly obscuring my vision. The antagonist must be driven to madness by jealousy at this moment. The male lead has grown disenchanted with her today and has chosen to be with our heroine instead. Who can be blamed? Is it not her own jealousy that has driven her to this state? She has imbibed far too much alcohol, to the point where she herself is oblivious to whom she may have shared a bed. Indeed, it is entirely her own fault. She is well aware of her inability to hold her liquor yet continues to down glass after glass. I can barely keep my eyes open, and I have yet to uncover any useful information amidst this chaos. Is this all there is? Not to mention that my driver awaits me outside, and my diligent new assistant stands guard at my side. I am hardly the type to succumb to drunken indiscretions, even if I were to engage in such debauchery. What of it? What age are we living in? Ho Yunqi would never abandon the prospect of an alliance with the Qin family over such trivial matters. How foolish of me to prepare for such an eventuality. It is a sheer waste of my time. Just as I contemplated making my exit, the music halted abruptly. Liu seized me suddenly, raising a glass in front of the assembled guests to toast. Sister Shui, despite your prior treatment of me, I am still grateful for your hospitality. I wish to convey that I have forgiven you, and I hope we can coexist harmoniously moving forward. The comments erupted in excitement. Our heroine truly possesses a heart of gold. How moving. The antagonist should hastily drink up, for the heroine's forgiveness is a blessing bestowed upon her ancestors. Internally, I rolled my eyes at the absurdity of it all. This individual is truly perplexing. I surveyed the crowd. Everyone had ceased their activities to watch us, as though I were obligated to partake in this toast. Even Ho Yunchi stood beside her, appearing to revel in the spectacle. Shitty. Both Li Yu and I have graciously provided you with an opportunity to save face. Why do you not take it? Oh, is this an attempt at moral coercion? I forcefully knocked over the high-proof liquor that Li Yu had offered, making no effort to conceal my disdain. Begone. Do not disgust me. Li Yu, with tears welling in her eyes, buried her face in Ho Yunchi's embrace. Sister Shui, even if you disdain me, that is one thing. But how can you treat Brother Yunchi in such a manner? He has known you since childhood and has always treated you with kindness. You truly do not appreciate him. I scoffed. Should I then relinquish him to you? You two are indeed a match made in heaven, after all. It is said that a shameless person is well suited for a dog, destined for eternity. Li Yu, likely unaccustomed to such direct insults, flushed crimson, trembling as she pointed at me. You. Ignoring the rising chorus of accusations from the crowd, I turned and walked away. To my surprise, Ho Yunchi suddenly shoved Li Yu aside and cheerfully called out to me, "Wait, I'll accompany you." Li Yu stood frozen, unsure of how to react. Moments ago, Ho Yunchi had been all affection with her, and now he wished to leave with me. I was equally perplexed by Ho Yunchi's sudden shift in demeanor. Once inside the vehicle, I inquired, "Why do you not continue the charade?" Ho Yunchi leaned back, yawning in boredom, and turned his head. I suddenly found it uninteresting. Just like the other girls, she spends her days consumed by jealousy and rivalry, lacking the charm of the little fish from before. Scoundrel. Did you just refer to her as little fish? I was about to berate him further when a comment caught my attention. What is this? How has the male lead's favorability suddenly plummeted to 60? It was at 80 just moments ago. What transpired? What shall I do now? If the favorability drops to 0, the heroine will be sent back to her original world by the system. By then, it will be too late for the male lead to regret his actions. Surely, the antagonist has employed some nefarious scheme. What wickedness could this malicious heiress not concoct? Suddenly, I lifted my head. At last, there is hope. With such a cheerful demeanor, could it be that you are genuinely jealous? Ho Yunchi raised an eyebrow. I had momentarily forgotten about this scoundrel's presence and was about to demand he vacate the vehicle when it occurred to me that I still needed him to save the little fish. I swallowed my words. With a shift in strategy, I devised a clever plan. Yun dog, I require your assistance. Not a chance. Ho Yunchi flatly refused without a second thought. I darkened my expression, knowing this scoundrel would not be easily persuaded. Observing my displeasure, Ho Yunchi appeared satisfied. What task could it be? Do you not know how to plead with me? I stifled my impulse to curse him and replied, I merely wish for you to not give up on Li Yu so soon. Keep an eye on her for me. Let her focus on pursuing you, lest other troubles arise. Does this not equate to selling myself? Not a chance. It is not that serious. I am not asking you to sleep with her. When did I fall so low as to engage in pretense with someone I do not like? However, since you have brought it up, I suppose it is not entirely out of the question. Do not say I lack consideration for you. If you allow me to join the Medical City project, I could sacrifice a bit of my charm. Your charm is not worth 50 billion. Ho Yunchi readily countered. Then how about you hand over the University City project to me? I rolled my eyes and ceased to engage with him, turning my gaze to the window. Ho Yunchi, undeterred, continued, or perhaps I could let you invest in my newly established snack chain. This was tempting. I had long coveted Ho's offline channels. 1%. 10%. 1%. At least 5%. Deal. Ho Yunchi rubbed his chin, feeling as though he had been shortchanged. The comments were rife with questions. What is the antagonist up to? Why is she actively aiding our heroine? Could it be to garner favor with the male lead? Do not be deceived. The antagonist must have set some trap to harm our heroine. The truth has been revealed. Our heroine must be cautious, lest she falls into the antagonist's scheme. Watching the scrolling text, I couldn't help but smile. This time, the comments were spot on. I know Ho Yunchi all too well. The more Li Yu attempts to manipulate him, the more he becomes repulsed. Conversely, when she maintains her distance, he is drawn to her like a moth to a flame. At this point, Ho Yunqi has likely lost interest in Li Yu and will not give her further attention. If that is the case, when will my little fish return? Thus, I must ensure these two are bound together tightly. With the favorability dropping to 50, Li Yu has grown anxious. And I have heard she is trying every possible means to entangle Ho Yunqi. Such unfortunate timing. As I stepped out of the car to find the two of them in a tug-of-war, Ho Yunqi wore a smile, yet due to their shared childhood, I could discern his impatience through his expression. He caught sight of me, and I seized the opportunity to wink at him, reminding him not to forget his promise. Ho Yunqi instantly understood my intent. His expression remained unchanged, but his arched brow betrayed his annoyance. Indeed, the young Master Ho has seldom endured such indignities. I relished watching the unfolding drama, but alas, Li Yu soon spotted me and glared at me fiercely. Meanwhile, the comments erupted in a frenzy. Why is the favorability still declining? It is below 40 now. The moment the male lead sees the antagonist, his favorability drops sharply. She must have employed some trickery again. What shall we do? The direction of the plot is all wrong. Do I alone think it is somewhat inappropriate for the heroine to report the Qin family during their time of crisis, leading their employees to defect to the rival side? Those upstairs do not empathize with the capitalists. Reporting tax evasion is a civic duty. Our heroine is on the side of justice. Furthermore, the Qin family is on the verge of collapse. With so many employees, they must seek an alternative. They should be grateful for our heroine's assistance. I frowned. What a muddled storyline. Even if I were to find myself with an unplanned pregnancy, my parents would still be pleased if I wished to keep the child. Would it not be better to have an heir that is entirely of the Qin family, with no ties to other men? Moreover, the allegations of tax evasion against the Qin family are preposterous. How many people are aware of the taxes for a publicly listed company? Are the annual internal and external audits mere window dressing? Not to mention, anyone who holds stocks for more than a year is exempt from capital gains tax. So as long as one is not attempting to launder money abroad, the legal entity would not act irrationally. It is entirely possible to avoid taxes lawfully. However, the barrage of comments regarding the encirclement by rival companies holds some merit. The Qin family, with its towering stature, inevitably attracts envy. Should they falter, a multitude would undoubtedly vie for a piece of the Qin pie. Most crucially, Li Yu cannot accomplish this alone. There must be hidden machinations at play. As for Ho Yunqi, I harbor no doubts. Once he successfully assumes control of the Qin family, he will undoubtedly pursue a union with Li Yu without a moment's hesitation. While I pondered this, Ho Yunqi had already managed to shake off Li Yu and departed in a vehicle. Li Yu did not pursue him. Instead, she stared vacantly into the distance, her eyes wide with bewilderment. This scene feels strikingly familiar. Little did I anticipate that Ho Yunqi would reach his breaking point first. One evening, in a fit of exasperation, he called me, his sole demand being for increased financial compensation. It turned out that Li Yu had employed some underhanded tactic to gain entry into Ho Yunqi's room and spent the night with him in bed while he was intoxicated. Ho Yunqi is the most fastidious individual I have ever encountered, obsessively clean to a fault. Consequently, he was revolted not only to the extent of needing to replace his bed and furniture, but even contemplating a complete relocation. You should bear this expense. And do not forget my compensation for emotional distress. Hello, I'm entering the subway now. The signal is poor, I must hang up. When have you ever taken the subway? Don't even think about it. I had disconnected the call just in time. Your obsessive cleanliness has nothing to do with me. I shall not part with a single penny. What a pity, it would have been quite entertaining to witness this unfold in real time. After Ho Yunqi's complete revulsion towards her, Li Yu became considerably more cautious, no longer persistently clinging to him. She made a special trip back to the villa to apologize to my parents and plead for our forgiveness. My mother, ever soft-hearted, forgave her swiftly. And now Li Yu accompanies her everywhere. However, this tranquil period was short-lived, as news broke that the chairman of the Qin Group was gravely ill and hospitalized. Qin Group chairman in critical condition. No succession for Qin Group. Major projects of Qin Group face funding crisis. The billion-yuan rehabilitation center project on the verge of collapse. Various detrimental reports regarding the Qin family proliferated, as if an unseen hand were pushing them towards the abyss. Numerous shareholders united in demanding that the senior management of the Qin family clarify the situation, yet there was no response forthcoming. Meanwhile, Li Yu, in her capacity as the adopted daughter of the Qin family, publicly accused them of tax evasion. In an instant, she became an internet sensation, hailed as a champion of justice, while the Qin family found themselves vilified. Before we could formally respond, Li Yu, accompanied by Deputy Director Zhang of the Qin Group, arrived at my home, along with Hua Yunqi. I descended the stairs nonchalantly. Deputy Director Zhang, what a surprise. Zhang Qiming, the Deputy Director, had once partnered with my father in building their enterprise from the ground up and had watched me grow up. I had previously referred to him as Uncle Zhang. You've become a deputy director, and my father has never mistreated you. Why would you collude with outsiders to undermine the Qin family? What benefit is there for you? Zhang Qiming waved dismissively. What would a young lady like you understand? Spare me the chatter and hand over the company seal. Before I could respond, he turned to Hua Yunqi, saying, Young Master Hua, please hold on for a moment. Once I secure the seal, I can sign the contract. I've already contacted a majority of the directors. Taking over the Medical City project will ensure profitability. Which directors have you communicated with? Why has no one informed me? The chairman? At that moment, my father emerged from the room. Upon seeing him in good health, Zhang Qiming's face turned pale. You're not. I'm not unconscious from medication. If that were the case, how could I lure your big fish? Zhang Qiming glared at Li Yu as if he wished to devour her whole, clearly believing he had been duped. Li Yu, equally shocked, hastily defended herself. I truly have evidence. My father sneered. You indeed have evidence of drugging. I simply did not consume any. Your sudden return to ingratiate yourself raises our suspicions. Do you think we are fools? We will hand over the video of your drugging to the authorities, and your accusations lack evidence. We will countersue for defamation and seek compensation for all losses incurred by the Qin family. Terrified, Li Yu collapsed to the floor, clutching Zhang Qiming's leg and pleading. Director Zhang, I was only following your orders. You must help me. Zhang Qiming, realizing the situation was beyond salvage, kicked Li Yu away in disgust and stormed off. Hua Yunqi finally spoke, his tone frigid. I once thought you were merely ignorant and vain, but now I see you are capable of harming others. Truly, your heart is as venomous as a serpent. Li Yu covered her face with her hands, shaking her head frantically. No, this isn't my fault. I merely wanted to reclaim what belongs to me. As long as Qin Chuan is hospitalized and the Qin family is investigated for tax evasion, I can take over the Qin family and you would marry me. I don't know why it turned out like this. The barrage of comments became overwhelming. Why did the female lead suddenly drug Chairman Qin? Regardless of her grievances, she was raised with care, wasn't she? The female lead must have her reasons for drugging Chairman Qin. Don't rush, explanations will come in due time. I looked up at the subtitles. Isn't this all your instigation? You told her that as long as my father is hospitalized and she reports the Qin family for tax evasion, everything would belong to her. If it weren't for you, how could she have dared to take such drastic measures? Li Yu nodded fervently. Yes. It was you who told me. You said I was the true lead, and she was merely the wicked supporting character. Everything in the Qin family rightfully belongs to me. I merely expedited the process. What wrong have I committed? Where did it all go awry? Goodness, can both the lead and the supporting character see us? I no longer know who is the lead and who is the supporting character. Is this the plot of the supporting character's revenge? What about the male lead? The male lead must belong to our female lead. The wicked supporting character must not take him. I turned to Hua Yunqi. I'm talking about you, male lead. You can only belong to the female lead. Hua Yunqi cast a cold glance into the void. Boring. I belong to no one. And my affairs are of no concern to you. What is going on? Why has the male lead changed so much? My affectionate male lead, come back. Wow. The aloof male lead is my type. I could accept a different female lead. Upon seeing that remark, Li Yu immediately went into a frenzy. You all incited me. What am I to do? I am surely going to prison. This is all you're doing. The comments erupted in a flurry of indignation. How dare you blame us? Did we tell you to drug anyone? Did we encourage your defamation? Change the female lead. Change the female lead. At that moment, Hua Yunqi had completely lost interest in Li Yu, his regard for her reduced to zero. Epilogue. Accompanied by Li Yu's horrified screams. It seemed as if a wisp of a ghost departed from Xiao Wei's body. The words on the screen gradually faded until they were entirely invisible. The true Xiao Wei slowly awakened. Miss, I worried you. Xiao Wei frowned deeply. Her first words upon awakening were still about me. My Xiaowei has returned. I rushed forward to embrace her tightly. Hui Yunqi clicked his tongue in amazement, following us closely for the next few days, claiming he wished to observe us closely. Xiaowei had regained the memories lost during her possession and shot Hui Yunqi a dark glare. For a moment, she felt he had betrayed me and deemed himself unworthy of being my fiancé. At another moment, she felt guilty for being a burden to me, her face betraying her remorse as she hesitated to speak. I urged Hui Yunqi to leave at once, as his presence was bothersome, yet he stubbornly insisted. I'm not going anywhere, it's far more entertaining here. TSK, what an annoyance. It seems it's time to rid myself of this clingy pest. The end. Thank you for listening. See you in the next story.